Hello everyone, this is the Random Engineer. Today we're going to look at some features such as sketch-driven pattern and curve-driven patterns. So for that I'm going to create a little tiny table. So I was looking at some of my previous videos and I see that you don't usually see my wheel and my hotkeys either. So I might as well just stop using them until I can find a way of how to do it. So just as a reminder, please note that whenever I'm always live, I'm always checking on my chat to see if any questions come up and I can answer them live. So just feel free to ask me if you have any other questions. So just to start and that's in this little table, just gonna create a plane and say I want a plane that's gonna be parallel and around 1 meter, well, let's say 1.2 meters tall. Note that I just say M for meters and it creates it automatically. So just go check and there's my plane. So I'm just gonna view my top plane just to see how it looks. Remember I'm working millimeters and you can change that here, but I'll just keep it in millimeters for now. So the reason I created a plane is because I just wanted to create a extrusion there. So I'm just gonna go set rectangle center. You can go from corners or midpoints. Difference being corners, and this is midpoints. That's it. I rather use midpoints for this one. So let's say you want a table going 1.5 meters by, let's say, 1 meter, and that's it. So now I'm just gonna go extrusion, say a thickness of any wood material like MDF or plywood, depending on what kind of wood you wanna use. I'll just say I want something like 30 mil thickness. It's okay, one in that side, and that's our table. Well, that's where we put our dishes. So now I'm gonna use I'm gonna just create one of those circular legs for it. So I'm just gonna say I'm gonna create just a leg there, and I just want it from the edge to be maybe 100, and I'm gonna create two construction lines just to make them equal. So pressing Control, go equal, and for construction, and then maybe just give it a thick diameter of 70. All right. So now I'm just gonna create a feature and say up to, from the sketch plane up to a surface. In this case, it's gonna be the top plane, and that's what we're looking at. Now I'm gonna unmerge the result because these are different bodies. Maybe it's looking too tall. So the reason I did up to surface is if I change that, the other piece itself will automatically be aligned. So I think maybe a meter is too long. Let's say 650. Okay, 650, and that's one of our legs. So now I'm just gonna create a new sketch on that face and just go normal to, well, that view, and create points. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm gonna show the other sketch. I'm gonna create a corner rectangle from there to there, and I'm gonna go for construction, so it automatically creates everything for construction. I'm just gonna make the points coincident, and maybe just another line and say from there to there. I'll create 2 more lines for construction, and just say these 2 are equal, and for construction as well. Finally, these 2 are going to be equal. So now that's the only thing I've created, and you see what really matters here is just the actual points. So I'm gonna go feature, linear pattern, sketch driven pattern, and say sketch number 3 is my sketch, and the features I want to create are those. And I'm gonna say I want to copy the bodies because these are not connected, and go yes. Oh, sorry, I didn't select the body. Go yes. And the good thing about this is that you don't have to create everything again. And since I did a body pattern, is just gonna replicate the body. So if the main body changes, everything else changes, and that's the kind of thing that we have here. So that's a sketch-driven pattern. You can pattern faces, features, and also you can, yeah, just that. Well, and bodies at the end. So I'm just gonna save that so it doesn't change. All right, so that's looking good. So now I'm gonna create another. Maybe just wanna give. I'm thinking maybe I could use some sketches here. So I'm just gonna create maybe a shape. Okay, I think I know what we're gonna do. So let's say I'm just gonna create a glass. All right. So we don't need anything else for those. So not gonna merge it. Just give it enough height so it looks good. Okay, and maybe just that so it looks better. Right. Now I'm gonna use the shell feature and say the glass thickness to be 3 mil. And see, that's our glass there. So I'm gonna create another sketch here, which is gonna be the sketch for the curve-driven pattern. And you can, let's see, just do something like that. I'm just gonna select these 2 points, say they're like so, and this one, and yeah, just right click here and say select midpoint, go here and say these 2 have to be like that, and maybe just give it a little, some dimensions there. So this kind of move, this can move. So I'm just gonna go like that, another. So I just create 2 more lines, say equal, and for construction, and that's completely fine. Right, so that's our curve. Just notice that one curve is for the feature and the dotted lines are for construction, so it won't take it into account. So now you go curve driven pattern, select the direction, which is going to be the curve, and in this case I'm going to create the bodies. So you say how many bodies you want. I'm going to go full preview. Equal spacing. Yeah. So if you go equal spacing, it's just going to create the number of bodies you want along the line. So let's say I want 5 over that curvature length, and we've got that. So just so you can see what's going on, I'm going to suppress it. Well, just get rid of that feature, show the sketch, and if I straighten this right here, I'm missing something else. Just gonna edit this and say, yeah, I need to define that the position of that circle right there. So just to define that position, I'm gonna say this has to be 20 mils from the edge. Oops. Oh, I was doing something else. Okay. Then 20 mils from the edge, from the short edge. 100 mils. From there to there, and here maybe another 200 mils. And there, let's just say 300 mils. So since we did that, in this sketch we did that this line and that line is the same, it's just going to replicate over the line. So if I change this dimension here, you see how the curvature updates as well. So that's why when we create our curve-driven pattern, when I change this, the glasses also update. So bearing that in mind, I'm just going to hide it, and then you can see the end result. And you see how the middle one never changes. So what happens if I go the other way? Instead of having equal spacing, I just want 5 with, let's say, 500 mils in separation. So just go yes, and no matter what I do here, the lengths are going to be updating. So the length updates, and as long as I keep my, well, the feature is going to keep the 500 mil separation no matter what I do. So that's why it's just creating 5 over that line. And that's the difference between the sketch-driven pattern and the curve-driven pattern. So maybe if I go and create two more points here, I'm just gonna say maybe in the middle of the line, middle and middle. Just gonna create that leg over the whole line, the whole points. So if I go really small, it's gonna have 3 legs anyway. If I go really far, it's just gonna create that 6 legs again. So I usually like to use equal spacing and go the number of bodies or features that I want to create. So the alignment basically is just so if I were to create a new, okay, I can probably show you. So I'm gonna edit this sketch and create another point just there. Notice it doesn't affect the end shape. But what it does is in the seat alignment, I can select which one I wanna, which one is gonna be my own, my alignment itself. So I need to show it. Just wanna know which one it is. Okay, show. So that's the body, align to seat, alignment, face normal. Equal spacing. And then you can go also the other way, but you need more curvature there. Yeah, seems like I cannot get it to work. No. Okay. Maybe I was getting confused with something else. All right. So that's how sketch-driven patterns work and curve-driven patterns. So just let me hide this for a second. And I'm gonna go back to my glass here. And let's see if it lets me do a fill pattern. Oh, sorry. I wanted that before the shell. Fill pattern. It's just gonna create a fill boundary. Yeah, so in this case it won't let me, but let's use that. So instead of being wood, let's just say it's aluminium or something like that. So you can use a feature or create a seat, which is something like that. So you can change the pattern here if you want. So in this case, I'm gonna say, oh, maybe that's too big. I'm just gonna say 40 mil holes, and maybe less separation, 100 on that edge, and 100 on the other edge. So it's just like a just like a punch out. Well, not punched maybe, but if it was a thinner material, it would be punched out. I'm just gonna say the bodies the cuts are just gonna be for that body. Otherwise, it's just gonna make holes in my legs too. So yeah, nice. So you see now it's just created that, and then I can go back, and it will do the same. So even if I update this, everything will update back again. So that's pretty much our table right there. So I'm just gonna give it a little bit of materials here. So like we said, this is gonna be aluminum because that's, well, because you can probably make holes in wood like this, but it wouldn't be something that you would usually do. So let's just say metal, aluminum, maybe not polished but brushed, and then I can say you can put that in the body. Maybe this is just steel, maybe some kind of steel that looks a little bit like iron. Yeah, there you go. Cast iron for the bodies. and then the same for these features. And for the glass, we go glass. So clear glass here to the body, clear glass to the curve, and that's our table right there. I'm just gonna give it real view graphics so it looks a little bit better, and maybe not that good, but I'll make a rendering so it looks better in the YouTube video thumbnail. So that's all I had to show you regarding the patterns. Like I said in the last video, I'll go into some assemblies next. So hopefully we can do some movable stuff and show you how to put parts together, and that's where things start getting exciting, because after that it's just a matter of creating shapes and doing stuff. So please make sure to subscribe. Look into my Twitch account, look into my YouTube account, follow me on Facebook, and on all the good stuff. And I hope you find this tutorial interesting. Let me know if you have any other suggestions of things I should do, and hope you have a great weekend. See you soon.